Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, your benefits are changing. And I'm sure you know about this. It's impossible not to have heard. But today we're going to go over exactly what are the details in the bill that just got passed by the House. So, of course, nothing's done until it is officially a law. But we're going to go over what has passed, if things currently make it through exactly as they stand now, what benefits stick around, and what goes away. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. So good to have you. My name is Dallin Haas. I'm a financial planner who serves feds just like you every day, and I love it. So if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe, and let's talk about this. So first, the good news. The good news is the previous versions of this bill change the high 3 to a high 5. Now, if you're not familiar with what this is, all you need to know is if it had changed to high 5, your pension would have been smaller. This provision got eliminated. So that is no longer a part of this, which 2 thumbs up for that. It keeps your pension calculated in the same way. Next big change is the supplement. Now, this is the most controversial change of any of these. And long story short, as things stand today, what the bill says is as of January 1st, 2028, so we got a few years here, January 1st, 2028, if you are entitled to the supplement by then you can get the FERS supplement. But if you're not entitled by this date, then you will no longer get the supplement. The supplement goes away. But again, this is not law yet. Just keep that in mind. Things could change. And we don't know exactly what entitled means, right? Doesn't mean you have to be retired by January 1st, 2028. I would certainly assume that if you are retired by January 1st, 2028, you would continue to receive the FERS supplement. That's certainly my assumption. Okay, but what if you're already eligible for the FERS supplement, you just haven't retired yet? Or maybe you're forced out under a DSR or VERA, some version of that, and you would be eligible for it. There's so many questions here we don't have the answers to, but the language right now is if you're entitled to it by January 1st, 2028, you would keep it. Otherwise, you would not. So my guess is that this is going to create a verge. Basically, it's going to push a lot of people retiring before 2028 to get the supplement, and then it's going to push another subset of people, those that aren't eligible by 2028 for the FERS supplement, it's going to push them all the way to 62, because now if the supplement's going away, it's going to be more difficult to retire before 62, because that's when Social Security starts, and the supplement went a long way to help bridge that gap. Now, if you're not familiar with the FERS supplement, I've got whole videos on that, so check those out if you want to know more about what that's all about. But that is what we're going to talk about, or that is as much as I'm going to cover that today. Next, contribution. So if you didn't know, as a federal employee, every single paycheck, you take a piece of your pay and you send it into the pension system, the system called FERS, that's going to fund your pension one day. And right now, if you're a newly hired federal employee, you pay 4.4% of your salary into that. Now, they had previously proposed to change that all federal employees, even those that were hired long ago, would start at this contribution rate. And by the way, if you were hired before 2013, you paid way less. You paid 0.8%. So this would have been a big change for those that have been hired a while back. But good news, that went away. That did not happen. The 4.4% will only be for those moving forward, those federal employees moving forward. So that is good news. That's good change to the bill. However, there is one potential change for new hires. Again, this only applies to new hires. And that is, long story short, if you want to or are willing to be what they call an at-will employee, so you give up a number of the protections normally given to federal employees that make you a lot harder to be fired, if you're willing to give that up, you, again, new federal employees, this would apply to you, you would only pay the 4.4% into the pension system, okay? However, if you would like to retain the protections that make it a lot harder to get you fired, then your contribution rate would be 9.4%. So you'd pay 5% higher, take a 5% hit to your salary if you wanted to maintain the protections that normally federal employees have. Again, as far as we can tell, this would only apply to new employees, and as far as we can tell, this decision is irrevocable. Once you set it, it is locked in for your career. Again, though, all of these changes are subject to change. They certainly could change. We don't know. This is not a law yet. It has not actually passed the Senate. So we will see where this goes, but I'll certainly keep you updated every step of the way. I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.